Good morning, boys. So let's begin with the first chapter in your readers. Open your readers, and the name of the chapter is The World in a Wall. So this story is about a boy named Gerald Durrell, and you can say, has a hobby or he has a passion for animal. He collects animals, and what kind of animals? These animals that live in the creaks of the walls, those broken plasters, the broken walls, cracked walls. And he likes animals which live behind these walls, inside these walls, behind the plaster, the broken old plaster, the damp plaster. So this is the story how he goes out of his house. Near his house there's a wall, old crumbling wall, and he starts peeling the plaster to look for these creepy crawlers which are inside these walls. So let's read the story. The crumbling wall that surrounded the garden alongside the house was a rich hunting ground for me. It was an ancient brick wall that had been plastered over, but now this outer skin was green with moss. Bulging and sagging with the damp of many winters, the whole surface was an intricate map of cracks, some several inches wide, others as fine as hairs. Here and there, large pieces had dropped off and revealed the rows of rose pink bricks lying beneath. So, this is how he is describing the wall. What kind of a wall, you know, all these cracked walls, the huge cracks, thin cracks, as thin as your hair, strand of your hair. So he's describing the wall, okay, and all these creepy insects, okay, and animals which are inside. Here and there, large pieces had dropped off and revealed the rows of rose pink bricks lying beneath. Even the walls were so bad that you can see the bricks inside the walls. The inhabitants of the wall were a mixed lot, and they were divided into day and night, workers, the hunters, and the hunted. This is how he describes the animals living inside the wall: the workers, the hunters, and the hunted. Okay. At night, the toads and geckos were the hunters. Their prey was the population of stupid, absent minded crane flies, moths of all shapes and sizes, and rotund beetles hurrying with their night's work. The big beetles and these stupid, absent minded crane flies. He calls them, they're always into trouble. They don't seem to learn anything. Okay. And they always get preyed upon. By day, it was difficult to tell the difference between the prey and the predators. Everything seemed to feed off everything else. The hunting wasps searched out caterpillars and spiders. The wasps were behind the caterpillars and spiders. The spiders hunted for flies. The dragonflies fed off spiders. See, it's a chain. And the flies and the swift, multicolored wall lizards fed off everything. The lizards had a great feast. You've seen lizards on your walls. They enjoy everything. But my favorites were the shyest members of the wall community who did not seek any attention. They were also the most dangerous. You hardly ever saw one unless you looked for it. And yet, there must have been several hundred living in the cracks of the wall. If you gently lifted a piece of the loose plaster away from the brick, there, crouching beneath it, would be a little black scorpion, an inch long, looking as though he were made out of polished chocolate. That was his favorite, the scorpion. Black scorpions. The shyest member of the community. Means he talks about all the animals that live in the cracks of the walls, inside the walls, behind the cracks of the walls. The shyest members, because they hardly come out, they're always hiding, as if they're shy, they don't want to come out. They were weird looking things with their flattened, oval shaped, oval bodies, their neat, crooked legs, the enormous crab like claws, the bulbous and neatly joined as armors, and the tail like a string of brown beads ending in a sting like a rose thorn. You know, beads. You seen those beads, round beads? Where you make a necklace. The sting, the tail, they are like rounded in beads. They look like beads. And you know, a scorpion's sting is always, usually, always alert. You know, like this, like a comma. Anyway, the scorpion would lie there quite quietly as you examined him, only raising his tail as a warning sign if you breathed too hard on him. If you come too close to an animal, you know, the animal will sense danger until unless the animal does not know you. But these are wild animals, these are animals which uh, cannot be tamed. So if you come too close, you know, the scorpion, if they are very calm, but if you come too close to it, you know, it gets alarmed. And you know the sign of a scorpion when it gets alarmed, we all know. Psst, like this, yes. Then one day I found a fat female scorpion in the wall, wearing what at first glance appeared to be a pale fawn fur coat. Closer inspection proved that this strange garment was made up of a mass of tiny babies clinging to the mother's back. This is how he saw a scorpion. When he saw this scorpion, mother scorpion, he thought that it had a nice fur on its back of the body. But when he came closer, inspected the scorpion, like he wanted to see what the fur was about. Was it hair or what? He found that they were not hair. They were, you know, it was no fur. It was what? It was the babies which were clinging on to the mother's back. Now, I was enraptured by this family, and I made up my mind to smuggle them into the house and up to my bedroom so that I might keep them and watch them grow up. With infinite care, I moved the mother and family into a matchbox and then hurried to the villa. So he took them. He was so impressed by this animal. He wanted to see this family grow. So he very nicely, carefully put this family into a matchbox, and he wanted to smuggle it to his room. Now, here is where the fun begins. It was rather unfortunate that just as I entered the door, lunch should be served. However, I placed the matchbox carefully on the mantelpiece in the drawing room and made my way to the dining room and joined the family for the meal. Dawdling over my food, feeding Roger surreptitiously under the table, and listening to the family arguing, I completely forgot about my exciting new creatures. At last, Larry, having fetched the cigarettes from the drawing room and lying back in his chair, he went and laid back in his chair. He put one in his mouth, the cigarette, and picked up the matchbox he had brought, oblivious that the end of my happy days was about to come. I watched my eldest brother interestedly as, still talking loudly, he opened the matchbox. So, lunch was going on, and Gerald, you know, he was dawdling over his food because he was not interested, and very sneakily or slyly he was feeding the dog under his table. We all do that, all those who have pets. We feed our dogs quietly without our parents knowing about it. Maybe your parents don't like it. So we quietly put some food under the table and we feed the dog. And while this was happening, Larry, the eldest brother, whose house he was in, he gets up, finishes his lunch. So he gets up and he goes to have a smoke. So he puts the cigarette in his mouth, and mistakenly he picks up the matchbox and sits, and he is about to open the matchbox. Now this is where it gets very, very exciting. Now I insist to this day that the female scorpion meant no harm. She was nervous and a little annoyed at being shut up in the matchbox for so long, and so she realized that the first opportunity to escape. Okay, so she seized the first opportunity to escape. As Larry opened the matchbox, the mother and the babies came out quickly from the matchbox, and on his hand and all everywhere. And Larry still did not realize what had happened. Now, she pulled herself out of the box with great rapidity, her babies clinging on desperately, and scuttled on to the back of Larry's hand. There, not quite certain what to do next, she paused. Her sting curved up at the ready. Now she was about to strike because she sensed danger. She was locked up. So suddenly she escaped and she sensed danger. So as scorpions sense danger, the tail goes up, alert. Larry, feeling the movement of her claws, glanced down to see what it was. And from that moment, things got increasingly confused. He uttered a roar of fright that brought Roger out from beneath the table. Now, as Larry saw what was on his hands, he roar of fright. You obviously, when you see a scorpion on your hand, you will not only get frightened, you will also give out a big roar. Okay, and Roger, the dog, which was under the table, he heard Larry screaming and shouting. He came out, barking wildly. That's what dogs are. Suddenly they hear commotion. They come out, start barking because they also sense some danger. Something has gone wrong. With a flick of his hand, he sent the unfortunate scorpion flying down the table, and she landed midway between Margot and Leslie, the sister and one brother, scattering babies like confetti as she thumped on the cloth. And with that, there was a rapid change from peace to chaos. Thoroughly enraged at this treatment, the creature sped towards Leslie, her sting quivering with emotion. Leslie leapt to his feet, overturning his chair, and flicked out desperately with his napkin. Leslie jumped to his feet when he saw the scorpion coming. He took a napkin and started hitting it with the napkin to move it away, and flicked out desperately with his napkin, sending the scorpion rolling across the cloth towards Margot, who promptly let out a scream that any railway engine would have been proud to produce. Margot was the sister. When she saw the scorpion being flung towards her, can you imagine girls when they scream, the screech, and he compares a screech to a railway engine. A railway engine would have been proud to produce the same sound as Larry's sister had done when she saw the scorpions. Gerald's sister, Larry was the elder brother. Eek! Look out! They are coming! Screamed Margot. Girls, look out! See! Scorpions, run! All we need is a book, roared Leslie. Now, Leslie said, all we need is a book because scorpion is a 1 inch or slightly bigger than 1 inch animal. We just need a book. Take a book and, smash it. Don't panic. Hit them with a book. Mother, completely bewildered by this sudden and rapid change from peace to chaos, put on her glasses. Now, mother was confused. She was eating lunch and she had taken off her glasses. Now, she could not see well. So, to check what was happening in this house, suddenly something happened. Everybody jumping around and shouting. She put on her glasses to see. She peered down the table to see what was causing the pandemonium. And at that moment, Margot, in a vain attempt to stop the scorpion's advance, hurled a glass of water at it. Margot, she just took a water and she just wanted to took this glass of water and she wanted to throw water on the animals, this scorpion and the family. And she missed the target. And what happened? The shower of water missed the animal completely, but successfully drenched mother, who, not being able to stand cold water, promptly lost her breath. Okay. So it was cold water. So can you imagine anyone throwing cold water on your face? So full glass of cold water on your face, water coming from the fridge, straight away on your face. You will suddenly, you'll look to breathe. You know. So same thing happened to mother. She was so shocked. Somebody threw water on her face, and sat gasping at the end at the table of the table, unable even to protest. No, she could not even protest, means say stop it and what are you all doing? Don't do, like mothers are telling the children, don't do this, keep quiet. But she could not do that because she was so shocked. The water being thrown on her face. Get a knife, hit them with a book, shouted Larry. That boy will kill the lot of us. Bah! Look at the table, knee deep in scorpions. Kill them. You know, that was the career. Get a knife. Even a knife was being asked for to kill these small animals. And they said that this boy is going to kill all of us with his hobby. Oh no, don't hurt them. I'll catch them. I pleaded until eventually, backed up by Mother Leslie's suggestion that the whole lot be killed was quashed. So, Gerald, he pleaded with his brothers and sister that not to kill them. His mother also, he pleaded them, please do not kill them. I will see that they are not, they are taken away from the house. He pleaded with them he pleaded with his mother to save them. His mother, who had a soft corner for Gerald because he was the smallest, and she agreed with him and saved them. He was able to save them. By the time a certain amount of order had been restored, all the baby scorpions had hidden themselves under various plates and bits of cutlery. When everything was a bit quiet, calmed down, everybody had calmed down. All the scorpions and the scorpion and the babies, they hid themselves under cutlery or under these small plates and all. The result of this incident were numerous. The result of this, what happened in his house just a few minutes ago. The results of this incident were numerous. While the family, still feeling angry and frightened, moved to the sitting room, I spent half an hour rounding up the babies. Okay, they all sat down in the living room, and poor Gerald, who was the real culprit, because he's the person who brought these animals in the house, he was made to hunt for them and put it back where they belonged. While the family, still feeling angry and frightened, moved to the sitting room, I spent half an hour rounding up the babies, picking them up in a teaspoon and returning them to their mother's back. Then I carried them outside on a saucer and reluctantly released them on the garden wall. Roger and I went and spent the afternoon on the hillside. So, Gerald knew the family was very angry with him. So he, with his dog, he did not come back to the house. They went to the hillside and stayed over there. For I felt it would be wise to allow the family to have a break before seeing them again. So this is what happens in your house also. When you make your parents angry and when you are scolded a lot, what you do? You make sure you don't come in front of your parents for a few minutes or a few hours. So same thing, Gerald, he did not come back to the house soon. So he stayed out. He waited for them to calm down. Larry developed a phobia about matchboxes. Larry, the elder brother, he developed a phobia. Whenever he used to see a matchbox, he used to get frightened. It happens when an incident takes place due to something. So you get a phobia of that thing. You develop a phobia. So same thing happened with Larry. But from my point of view, the worst repercussion of the whole affair was that mother decided to try to stop me from exploring the animal world. Okay, she thought that it is not good for Gerald to continue his hobby. So, you are running wild again, she told him. You are running wild again. It is high time you received a little more education, she said. I am getting you a tutor. So that's what that was his punishment. You be naughty, you don't listen to your parents, and you are wasting your time. You got a lot of free time, you're wasting it. So it's better you study. Now we'll arrange a tutor for you so that at least some time you give to your studies. So this is what happened to Gerald. His mother said, enough is enough. Now let's study. So I am arranging a tutor for you to study. So that's the end of the chapter, boys. And the homework is for today, that is 21st of April. Word meanings to be done in a single lined notebook. Word meanings on page 14 and 15 to be done. Okay, so start with your homework, and the other homework, which is the question answers, I will very soon I'll be giving you in the form of a worksheet. Okay, so I might give you question and answers because we want to make things easy for you. So you just have to copy them down. Okay, otherwise you can expect only questions and you have to look for the answers. But most probably I will be giving you question and answers because I think I should make it a bit easy for you because strange times, so we don't want to tax you too much. Okay, so wait for the other homework, the worksheets, but for the time being, word meanings to be done today, 21st April. So that's all, and stay safe, stay indoors, and stay healthy. Bye bye.